moyo wangu wadzidza kufira Zimbabwe. Moyo wangu wadzidza kufira Zimbabwe. Kuzadzisa basa randakasirwa. Kuzadzisa basa randakasirwa.
Comrades, Dinofara, to have you and have this opportunity to talk to you in these interviews. Maybe as we start, Comrade, can you identify yourself? Who am I talking to?
You're talking to Tobias.Chizengeni.
Okay. Comrade Tobias.Chizengeni, tell us, where were you born and where did you go to school?
I was born in Chiwota, Marindere district. And I went to school, primary school at Wadelav.
Okay.
District. Then up to standard 6 then.
Okay.
Again, then left because parents couldn't afford to pay for my secondary education at that time. Came to Harare and started looking for a job in 1960. And got a job at the tobacco company as a clerk.
Oh, okay.
And I worked there for the rest of that year. I worked at the tobacco company. In the course of that year, there was a lot of political activity that was taking place in the country. Certainly in Highfield. I lived in Highfield.
Oh, you were living in Highfield?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'll come back to you. Comrade, can you identify yourself? Who am I talking to?
My name is Ignatius Chigwendere.
Ignatius Chigwendere.
Yes.
Yes.
I was born in 1939.
Okay.
In Gweru.
Oh, okay.
Then I did my primary school, ended up at Mambo Primary School.
Okay.
I must add that I was taught by Robert Mugabe.
Oh,
Standard 5.
Oh, he was your teacher?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I went to Kutama, my secondary school, for 3 years.
Okay.
Went back to Gweru. The most important thing I remember is that I was with his brother.
Okay.
Mugabe's brother at Charles Hall.
What was the name of this Mugabe's brother? If you still remember.
Albert Mugabe.
Albert Mugabe. Oh,
yes.
All right.
Then I was being taught to assemble machinery and repair.
Okay.
I spent 3 years at that one before I was then elected to become an executive of a trade union. I was then transferred to Bulwai.
Okay. Okay. Tell me, Comrade Chizengeni and yourself, are you like friends or what? I mean, because I've seen you've been making a lot of jokes with each other. Are you friends from that long time?
Yeah, we met about that time, but I think especially during the period of ZANU.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, during the period of ZANU, I think that's when we actually got close.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you were youth during that time?
Yeah, I was certainly youth. I don't know about him.
I am a little more older than him.
Oh, you're older than him?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
No, you're still older than me.
Now, tell me, I like it, because this is the time when you are youth. Tell me of your youthful days during those days. What were use of your time? What were they doing during that time? You were about to talk about politics and so on, but the use of this time, of your time, what were they doing?
Nothing much really. Nothing to write home about.
Okay.
If one had a job, you had to attend to your job thing, Mondays to Fridays. Then weekends was time for leisure.
Oh, okay.
You did whatever you could do for
I
leisure
want to
during
know
that period.
I want to know what's that leisure that you do? Would you, the children of today, they go on internet, some of them, they go to swimming. What would you be doing yourself during that time when you say you're going for leisure time? Is it like going to play soccer or what?
Yeah, it was mostly to do with watching games.
Okay.
Be it soccer, boxing.
Okay.
Sometimes you go to dancing halls, mime sozi hall, and places like that.
Oh, okay.
Nothing very spectacular.
No, about
nothing.
And yourself, comment.
Well, I should say that there was a lot of politics.
Okay.
Because that was the period when most of the political parties in Rhodesia were banned.
Oh, okay.
I remember Banda being brought to Gweru.
Which Banda is this?
Hastings Banda.
Oh, Hastings Banda.
Malawi.
Yes.
Okay.
Malawian.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But then, following that period, these were three organizations belonging to ANC, South African ANC.
Oh, okay.
But there was now a branching off when ZANU, when in Zimbabwe, they had the National Democratic Party, also Malawi Congress, ZANU, ANC, but we then became very much aligned to ZANU.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Comrade, during that time when you said there was too much politics, who were some of the leaders of that time that you would go and, as youth, that you would go and listen to as they were talking?
Well, ANC was banned, but I was not a part of it.
Okay.
Most of our leaders were then detained.
Okay.
But I began to participate in ZAPU, ZANU, when it was then formed.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Who were some of the leaders during that time?
It was Michael Mawema, Inos Nkala, who was the secretary, Shirundika, publicity secretary, and many others.
Many others. Comrade Chizengeni, tell me, how did you get involved in politics? What drove you to have this interest to say, no, me, I think I want to get involved in politics? What drove you to join politics?
It was accidental, actually.
Okay.
It wasn't anything that I sat home and thought about it. No. A friend who was much older than me had attended a meeting of the NDP previously, before that particular weekend, when he came along where I stayed and suggested that I join him to go to a meeting of these guys. You must come. That's what he said to me. You must come and listen to these guys. They know exactly what needs to be done in this country. And I'm saying, what is this about? Because I had no idea about what politics, what is that to do with what?
Yes.
But anyway, he says, come, just come along. So I went there, rather not very enthusiastic about it, because I didn't know exactly what it is that he was talking about.
Exactly. Yeah.
But when we got there, the first thing that struck me was these guys seemed to have been surrounded by policemen and white policemen for that matter, with their dogs.
Okay.
And to my surprise, the chap who was speaking didn't mince his words at all.
Who was that who was speaking?
Michael Mawema.
Oh, okay, Michael Mawema.
Yes.
And where was this? Where was this address?
This is in Highfield.
Okay.
This was in Highfield.
Yes.
And I had never heard of his name. I'd never heard him speak before.
Okay.
So, but what he had to say.
What was he talking about when you say he didn't mince his words?
Michael Mawema was addressing the gathering.
Yes.
Enumerating all the injustices that the Africans were suffering.
Oh.
And he was suggesting that to get out of the mess that the people were under, we needed to be able to rule ourselves.
Okay.
And to rule ourselves, we need one man, one vote.
Okay.
Yeah. He was saying we're tired of asking for mercy from these white guys. They're not listening to us. We need one man, one vote. That's the only way we will be able to introduce laws that will benefit the majority of us. And to me, that was all new. I mean, I'd never heard anybody talk about that. No, and I'm saying, what is that? And anyway, he explained all those demands in a manner, again, that I'd never experienced, never heard before, an African speak like the way he was speaking.
Yeah.
And to make matters worse for me, at that time, I was thinking, where does he get the guts from to speak like this in the presence of these white guys?
Yeah.
And why is he not scared of these white guys?
Yes.
Because I put myself in his shoes and I said I couldn't do that. Because
tell me, comment. What was the white man like during this time? Because when during this time, when I say a white man, I just say just another human being. But tell us of this white man at that time. What kind of a person was he during that time?
The white man was a superhuman being.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in every respect.
Okay.
If you are walking along the street and the white man is coming from that side, you have to get out of the road.
That's true.
Okay. Yeah, because you can't rub shoulders with him. No.
He was that superhuman.
Yeah. Because if you didn't do that, and some of these white guys, they would actually kick at you or push you off the way. Okay. So you knew already anyway that when the white man comes from that side, you give way.
This actually happened?
Oh yes, it did. They were frightening, to say the least, very frightening. But the most important thing, what they had guts to ban politics. We were in a federal state of Rhodesia and Iceland. That they then banned the organization we belonged to, the ANC. In the end, we ended up with a separate party, NDP in Southern Rhodesia, Malawi Congress Party, and in Northern Rhodesia there's they also had another party. That's how NDP was then formed. National Democratic Party of Rhodesia.
So you go to this meeting, Comrades again, and Michael Mawema is speaking like that, and you're wondering, where is this black man getting all these guts? What did that do to you now?
I was, of course, impressed. Impressed not just by the language. Remember, he's speaking English. And like I said earlier, I had not come across an African who spoke in English the way he spoke. And then to me, he had the guts to say that what we wanted was one man, one vote. I'd never heard an African talk like that before. But here is a man who is saying that in the presence of all these white guys, these policemen with their dogs. He's not scared of being arrested.
And as he's addressing like that, these white men who are with dogs, what are they doing? Are they just watching him, or you can clearly see they're agitated? What is their reaction?
No, I never wasted any time looking at them. In fact, maybe I was too scared anyway to look at them. I know, I couldn't look at them.
Okay.
I was just impressed by this man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after this address, how then did you?
It took a long time for me to be really interested in politics.
Okay.
Or in what he was doing or saying. But once in a while, that friend of mine who asked me to accompany him to this meeting would come along and say, "Do you want to come along with me this weekend?"
What is this name? What's the name of this friend?
Oh,
you forgotten?
I forgot. No,
you know, it's a friend from a long time
ago. It's a long time ago.
No, that's okay. So, did you finally get into the structures of the party at some point?
Not NDP.
Oh, okay.
Not NDP.
But I was.
But you were part of NDP.
Yes.
In what role? In what capacity?
I was working at that factory. We joined trade unions, which were very legal in South Africa and here.
Okay.
And they were not banned. Okay. But I participated in politics through the trade unions. When I then left my employment, I went to Zimbabwe. Okay. Where the trade union was thriving.
Thriving, yes, yeah.
Yeah, in every aspect.
The trade unions of that time, what were they fighting for?
Wages. Well, they had an Industrial Conciliation Act.
Okay.
In other words, they were permitted to exist.
Okay.
Yes. But perhaps the difference I introduced was to face the employer with that document asking for permission to address their workers.
Okay.
Even my seniors were frightened.
Okay.
And when they saw me doing this, they thought I was very brave.
Okay.
But that was...
So who are some of the leaders of the trade unions of that time that you remember their names?
Jason Moyo, Chas Pachipanoja, Phineas Chitole, and many others.
Okay.
But I must add that Jason Moyo assisted me to get out of the country.
Oh, okay.
I then went to Israel for a 6 months course.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. This is when you're still under NDP, or this is later now when you
I was still aligned to NDP, except that I was now a member of a trade union.
Oh, okay.
I went to NDP meetings.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
During these meetings, NDP meetings, what were they talking about? What was the currency at that time?
Very frank. I also know very well Michael Mawema was in Gweru. He worked as a social worker at the railways. Okay. He was now an organizing factory. But the most important thing is he was a very articulate speaker.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you are now in NDP. I want to know what was the ideology, what was driving NDP? What were they saying they want to do NDP?
Freedom. You could quite say, we wanted freedom and we wanted to express ourselves and ourselves, shall we say, freely, without fear of the white man. That became very clear.
Was there any difference in politics? The politics that was happening in Harare and the politics that was happening in Bulawayo? Was there like any difference?
Well, we were segregated. Remember, we didn't live in towns.
Okay.
We lived in locations.
Okay.
And they could raid locations anytime.
Okay.
Yes. That's what's different.
When you say you were segregated, you were living in locations,
white men who lived in town.
You could,
Suburbs.
you couldn't live in suburbs and in towns?
No.
Because I live in town now, so I'm wondering.
No. We had locations.
Okay.
These are called, they were called locations.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So that's where the black men will be staying.
Yes.
And they would come and raid there
You would
anytime.
also have a white superintendent.
Okay. To watch over
Yes.
these blacks.
Yes. Not only that,
Yes.
but even schools,
Yes.
they had white, what is it?
Like officers monitoring what's happening there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So you never had any freedom
Okay.
from the whites.
They would always be watching.
Yes.
Okay. So from NDP, NDP was later banned, isn't it?
Yes.
Then came what? ZAPU now?
Yes.
After NDP.
Yeah, but ZAPU was formed when I was now away.
Okay. So when you said you were later assigned to go to Israel for training, when was that?
64. 65. I cannot remember.
Oh, okay. What were you doing in Israel when you sent there?
There was a diploma on trade unionism.
Okay.
It lasted for 6 months.
Okay.
Then
You went alone or you went with others?
There were people from Malawi,
Okay.
Zambia,
Okay.
and I was from Southern Rhodesia then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, Chizengeni, you listen to Michael Mawema and it tickles you, and now it takes you long to really get into the groove of things. When exactly did you, at the point that you now say, no, I think I like this, I think I'm going to join this? When was that?
As time went on,
Yeah.
I got to follow what the politicians were doing, what Michael Mawema and company were saying at the various meetings and so on. Not that I was attending all the meetings, no.
Okay.
But once in a while, I'll attend those meetings that happened close to where I stayed.
Okay.
Or this friend of mine, the same chap who had introduced me to these meetings was here, kept a tab on me actually. He was saying, let's go and listen to this because this is what we need to do in this country. So down the road, when everything that they said was wrong with Rhodesia, with the whites in Rhodesia, it made lots of sense to me.
Oh.
Everything they said made a lot of sense. And the solution to our problems, they offered the solution that we should have one man, one vote, so that we should be in a position to rule ourselves.
Yeah.
And of course, that made lots of sense again. Yeah, we should be able to rule ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
They also emphasized on one man, one vote.
One man, one vote.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
African did not have a vote at all.
Yeah, I want to understand. I can go and vote now. So, what was this one man, one vote? We think voting is just the right. Everyone's right. During that time, what was the situation like?
There were selected people who were in the federation, who had votes, but not everybody.
Okay.
Not everybody, like you and me, had the vote. That's why Mawema asked for one man, one vote.
Okay.
And with this, we wanted to have our country.
Youth of today, we don't seem to understand this. These are white people who came into our country, and they are not giving you the right to vote. They are selecting the people who are supposed to vote. How did this come about? What was going on there?
Well, we talk about oppression.
Yes.
This was enough. We could describe what oppression could have been about.
Yeah.
We were oppressed.
Okay.
Yes. Even our villages were taken, our places where we lived, selected for white people.
Yeah.
People were pushed into reserves, and they also had contour ridges.
Okay.
There were so many things wrong with the white administration.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, Chizengeni, did you finally join ZAPU, or did you go ZANU, or did you get into the structures? I want to know that. Get to that part.
Okay, after NDP was banned, they formed ZAPU.
Okay.
Yeah, and when they formed ZAPU, I now had the interest to go and listen. But remember, it wasn't just listening to everybody. There was a particular person I wanted to listen because he had impressed me the first time I went there.
Okay.
Michael Mawema.
Michael Mawema.
Yeah, but
comrades, the two of you, up to now, you're talking of Michael Mawema. But when we listen to Zimbabwean politics, we hear of nationalists like Robert Mugabe, we hear nationalists like Joshua Nkomo. You have not yet mentioned them. They have not yet featured in this picture, or what's going on here, or what is going on?
Yeah, at that time during NDP period, I was not aware that of the names that you're mentioning, Mugabe or Nkomo. They didn't appear in my scheme of things.
If you could wait, he was my teacher in Standard 5. And he went to Ghana.
Okay.
That's where he got married to Sally.
Sally, yes, yeah.
And I also had to go to Ghana.
What year did you go to Ghana?
But he later married, he got to Ghana and he married Sally.
Yes.
Okay. And you had to go to Ghana. What were you going to do to Ghana?
What was happening is, remember, by going to Israel, yes. I had a passport.
Okay.
Then whenever people were striking, they would hide me so that I couldn't lose my passport.
Okay.
After that, I could then be sent out. I remember being taken by Parerenyatwa to the airport.
Okay.
In order to go to Ghana. Then later to Britain and Geneva.
Okay. What were you going to do at all these places?
Canvassing for trade unions and of course our politics.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So you would go out there and say, hey, we are in trouble in Zimbabwe there. We need your support. Something like that?
Not only that, but I had photographs of strikes.
Okay.
Which I would then show the people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Those who are not our friends, I would not associate with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, comrades again. Then NDP is banned. ZAPU is formed. Tell me now where you now coming into saying now I'm participating fully now into politics now.
Okay, not even in ZAPU, because in ZAPU I had a problem when ZAPU was formed.
Okay.
In the sense that the leadership was no longer of the person that I was used to, who had been Mawema. Mawema was no longer the leader.
No longer the leader there.
No, the leader was Joshua Nkomo. I had never heard of him before.
Oh, okay.
And
so you're like, no, Mawema, no Chizengeni.
Yes, Mawema spoke the language I understood.
Okay.
And I liked.
Okay. But did you give people like Joshua Nkomo also the opportunity to go and listen to them?
No, I did. As time went on, when I heard that he was coming to address a meeting someplace, I would go there and try to listen to him. Obviously, with the idea of, is he the same as Michael Mawema or kind of thing? But yes, but he remember, during this period now, it's no longer just maybe the leader and a couple of his colleagues. There are many now.
Many now, yes.
Yeah, there are many other guys there.
Yes,
and they're all impressed.
Oh, okay.
And they're speaking more or less the same language as in NDP.
In NDP, okay.
Yeah. Remember, I am already convinced that what they're talking about is
makes sense.
Yeah, this is what is required. That is what we really want in this country.
Okay.
And I don't know where this came from, but I suspect, in looking backwards,
looking back now,
yeah, Okay, before I say looking back, let me mention the fact that up to this point, I was not aware that my grandfather was killed by the whites in 1897 because they had rebelled and killed white guys in Marundera, where Wadela was today, is today. They lived there.
Oh, okay.
Okay? But the white guys came in and apportioned that land to some white guys and so on, and the farms at the back. So this big man, old man from my group, I understand he organized people and they went and killed him.
Oh, okay.
So he got arrested.
Oh, okay.
That detail I didn't know.
You didn't know about it?
No, I didn't know about that.
Okay.
I only got to understand this a little much later.
Okay.
That in fact, Seguruwenyu was involved in this thing. I got it as Chimurenga 1 year.
Oh,
and so,
okay.
okay. So what happened to him? They killed him. In fact, that's not what my people were told. My people understood and believed Seguruwenyu was taken to England.
Oh, okay.
Yeah? Which made people actually think Seguru to England. Years down the road, Pandazendo to England, there would be messages being sent to Mushago, look for Seguru there. Yeah, Seguruwenyu
you may find him somewhere.
So, anyway, Nkomo's period in ZAPU, obviously it enhanced the little bit that I began to understand and appreciate of what Mawema was talking about. Okay. It continued to make lots of sense. Yeah.
Okay.
So whenever there were meetings that were happening close to where I stayed, I would always attend.
Okay.
Yeah. I would always go there, but I never held a position in ZAPU.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
In ZAPU I didn't. And then when ZAPU was banned,
yes,
this man was much more interested now in politics.
Yeah. You are now into it now.
Now, yeah, this time even during the period of the ban of the party, there is no organization allowed in the country.
In the country, yes,
and I'm among those people, youths, who are asking, until when are we going to continue like this? Yes. Why are they banning them?
Yeah.
And the question is, until when are we going to be able to? Why are they doing that? Why can't you just fight them?
It has gotten into your blood.
Yeah, right. It's within me now. I'm saying, but
Kushkari situation like this.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And okay, let me just add something here. My father told me earlier on, 1940 something, he worked as a houseboy for Avondale for some white girl lady. And one Saturday, he says the boyfriend of this lady came to the apartment, and the girl had asked my father, because he was her employee, asked my father to come into her bedroom to help spread the bed or something. The boyfriend walked in while he was doing spreading the bed.
Yeah. I can imagine the impression.
Yeah, if you had for the West, the white man, no, you can't do that with my home. Yeah.
What is this?
They called the police, I understand. They called the police. My old man was arrested.
For that?
Yes, he was arrested. He went to prison 6 months. And after 6 months, they used to have a thing called PI. Prohibited immigrant.
Yes, I know it, yes.
So, prohibited immigrant in Harare was not allowed to come back to Harare. Oh my God. He's a bad man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when these guys were beginning to say, look, we must have laws changed because most of the laws are working against us. That sort of thing came back to my mind and saying, my father spent 6 months in prison for what?
For what? Yeah.
You see?
So now ZANU is now formed.
ZANU is formed.
Yeah.
I am actually
not part of it.
Yes. Yatove kwatiri wanga watunukira puma zani yacho.
Oh, okay.
Because we went for some period between the ban of ZAPU and the beginning of ZANU.
Yes, yeah.
So during this period when there was a lull,
9 months ago.
when there was a lull, we were saying, why? Yeah, action. But maybe I should also mention that even during this period, there were small groups of persons and that sabotage.
Yes.
Somebody will come with the idea, let's go and destroy that building or my farms, my crops. I will always go and destroy them.
Oh
yeah. Among ourselves, we would say, okay, let's go and do this.
Would you say, I think I'm making the IT leader during that time, because it was just something spontaneous. Was there a leader, someone who would say, I think I'm going to do this, or it was just my youth general?
My youth generally, I feel of the leadership, party. ZAPU into ZANU as well. The late Ignatius Chigwendere.
Yes, yeah.
Ignatius Chigwendere, actually we called him General Shed.
Yes, General Shed. I've heard a lot about that.
Yes. He was like the overall commander.
Oh, okay.
He was arrested after that.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So we would organize. Not with each quarter to organize us to do anything. No, we organized ourselves and, in fact, even found the money ourselves.
Yes.
Not the party.
Raised money on your own.
Raised money on our own and went on these missions on our own accord.
Okay.
And the more the leadership didn't know about what you were doing before we did anything was better.
Was better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
because if they knew, they would stop you.
Not only stop us, but also the process will sell us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they'll tell the police.
So now you're even going back behind the backs of these leaders.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the leaders were not to know what we're doing.
So did you finally get into the structures of ZANU?
Yes, when ZANU was formed, yes, we got into the structures of ZANU.
What part? What
Youth League, secretary, administrative secretary, I think but I had some position in ZANU Youth League.
Okay.
Yeah, in Highfield.
In Highfield.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it was like I was more experienced now in terms of doing towards a party, the politics action.
Okay.
The one man, one vote thing that we were talking about. In fact, we were saying we're getting tired of repeating the same thing. We want one man, one vote. And these guys are not listening.
And you, corporate, when did you finally get into the structure?
I was in the structures of the trade unions.
Yes.
Yeah. And I was used by politicians because I had a passport. Okay. I then went to Ghana, to Geneva. I would create my destinations, which are based on trade unions. Then I would go and sell my political literature. Okay. I then went to, I remember Kennedy died when I was in Geneva. Then I had a fellowship to go to Sweden. But whatever I had to begin to sell my politics. I remember then wanting to come back home, meeting Robert Mugabe and Jason Moyo, suggesting that I should now not go home. I should go to Dar es Salaam.
Oh, you met Robert Mugabe and Jason Moyo where?
In Nairobi.
In Nairobi?
Yes.
And they suggested that you should not go back home.
I must go to Dar es Salaam.
Oh, okay.
The mission.
Okay.
Yes. I was there for about 9 months.
In Dar es Salaam?
Yes. Then I went to Cairo. There were a lot of our people who had run away from our
country.
Yes.
Okay.
Then from there, I went to Czechoslovakia, but the most important thing was I had to fundraise for those our trade unions we were arrested. ZAPU was banned when I was in Beijing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You traveled a lot, yeah? Do you still have a passport? I wish I could travel like that. You know, Geneva, Israel, Ghana,
everywhere. I went everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yes.
And what was the message you were giving to when you were going to all these places?
Politics.
Your politics.
Yes.
Yes.
But I had to do it from the trade union point of view.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that they will not see that this guy is now in not.
No, they would I accept that I'm a politician in my own right.
Okay.
But I use
the name of the trade union. Okay. So when exactly did you join, like saying now you are moving away from the trade unionism into politics proper?
I never moved away from trade union.
You kept on hiding.
Yeah. No, I'm not hiding. I become very political, but being in the trade union.
Trade union. It was actually strategic, isn't it?
Yes, right up to the time when I was in, the story becomes long. We were then detained here.
Okay.
There was a state of emergency. I was detained in Wawa. From there, I went to prison.
Okay.
From there, I then was sent to Oxford.
Okay.
I was and a scholarship was arranged for me.
By the way, why were you arrested this time now? You've been doing all these things. You were arrested.
Politics.
Why? What had you done exactly that they were saying this is what he has done?
We were the issue is that I was now with the young deputy Robert Mzenda.
Okay, Simon Mzenda.
Yes, he wanted me to. He wanted to go to Mvuma because he thought his wife had a gun, and if police went there
and searched the house, they would find the gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we were arrested before we crossed the river.
On your way to Mvuma?
Yes.
Okay.
Then, of course, the policemen came and they found that gun. But the impression created was that they wanted me to go away on my errands.
Okay.
We were then taken, all of ourselves, to Highfields.
Okay.
And there was a state of emergency in Highfields.
Okay.
From there, we went to Wawa. I was in Wawa. I was the last person out of Wawa to go to the prison. My scholarship was then organized for me to go to.
When was this scholarship organized? He was not there. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'm talking to Oxford.
Yes.
Guys here?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. No, I can actually feel the English.
You can see the Oxford.
I can feel the Oxford.
And Thomas Mswaka was also there.
Okay.
Orlando 64, 65.
Yeah, 64.
64.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But tell us, before you go to Oxford, I wish I could go there. Before before you went to Oxford, how was the situation like when you were arrested and you were at Wawa there? How were you treated?
Actually, there was something in the sense that the person who organized for me to go to Oxford was a white man.
Oh, okay.
But from the trade unions.
Oh, okay. From the trade union side.
Yes.
Okay.
Then he knew where I could go, but Ahmad Ziripi and Tom Mswaka were already there.
Okay.
Then from there, it becomes a different story. talk to him first.
No. What becomes the different story here? That's the story we want to hear. Where it becomes a different story, that is where the story begins.
Exactly. Well, the most important thing, which it was a personal decision.
Yes.
I had traveled so much outside that I was afraid that I would get a white woman. So I had to get married to a local girl. This was my fear.
Okay.
Yes.
But why were you afraid of getting to know?
I met too many wives.
Okay.
Yes, I had to have a local girl.
Local girl.
So I got married.
Okay.
To my wife now.
Okay. Okay. All right. No. Now I can understand why you were. So you later went to Oxford, and what were you doing at Oxford?
It's called PPE, Politics, Philosophy and Economics.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Then in the end, I became the Secretary General of Racial Justice Commission of England and Wales.
Oh, okay.
After 10 years, I came back home because everybody had been released
from
prison.
Okay.
I then got in touch with my teacher.
Okay.
Robert Mugabe.
Oh, okay.
Who wrote a letter for me to give to Chitepo.
Oh, okay.
I gave the letter to Chitepo. 6 weeks after he died.
Oh, after you gave the letter to Chitepo.
Yes, but then I had the guts now to write to Kaunda, asking an explanation. Instead, he chose Mainza Chona to answer me because within we had been together in Ghana. But what he wrote is disgusting.
What
I had to show to my executive. Little did he know that I had now very influential people in Britain.
Okay.
Some chose to go and meet Kaunda, Nyerere, and other leaders.
Okay.
So much so that by the time there was the Geneva conference, all people who were detained in Zambia were released to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll come to that. I want to understand, what is this letter that Robert Mugabe has written to Chitepo?
Look,
you never got to know the contents of the letter?
I did not want to open it.
Oh, okay.
But the most important thing was that he then suggested that we should go and drink at Patrick Komba's restaurant, who was my cousin.
Oh, okay. You went for a drink with him at Chitepo?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then I later got the information that he was killed.
Okay.
3 months afterwards in England.
You were already in England by that time?
Yeah.
Okay. Chizengeni, you are now ZANU now, you know, this position is youth under administration and so on. There's this talk, Comrade Chizengeni. Why exactly was ZANU formed? Because there seemed to have been an agreement that after ZAPU was banned, there wasn't supposed to be another party. What was going on here? And why did you choose to then join ZANU? Because I understand when ZANU was formed, Joshua Nkomo actually was labeling ZANU like a rebel, part of rebels and so on. Why did you choose to join ZANU?
Okay, by the time ZAPU was banned, Some of us, even though I was not active in the branches of ZAPU as such, but politically, in my head, I followed what was happening, and I was getting frustrated as much as everybody else. That Nkomo keeps on talking of wanting to go to UK and talk to the British so that the British give us independence and so on. And this he had been doing earlier, which led, he had been doing earlier together with Kaunda and Nyerere, and Banda. But Banda and Kaunda achieved their goal.
They'd gotten their independence.
They gotten their independence by going to Britain.
Yes.
And Nkomo continued going to Britain, but nothing was happening for us. So we're saying, what is the point of him or us waiting for the British? Going to the British and so on. And somebody, I don't remember, I think it was Story. They then said, look, the solution is not going to the Commonwealth or to the British or to the United Nations. The solution is ourselves. We have to look back into ourselves. And he coined the phrase, we are our own liberators. We have to do that. We have to fight for ourselves. Nobody else is going to liberate us. The British are not going to come here and liberate us. We have to do it ourselves. That made a lot of sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this
sounds like what I want.
This is, no, it makes sense to me. So when the split occurs, I am more than ready for it. And especially to get rid of Nkomo. Because Nkomo for us was not leading us anyway. I was saying, most of the youth really were saying, no, we had had enough of Nkomo. And in fact, if Pareniatwa had not died, there was a talk that people should organize for the elevation or promotion of Pareniatwa to become the leader of the party. All right. So, no, Nkomo, we're tired of it.
Now, reports also say that soon after the formation of ZANU now, there were serious clashes between ZANU and ZAPU, supporters, big time. Tell us of that. What was now happening? What was leading to all this? And what instigated all this fight?
The main thing that I remember to be at the background of this was during ZAPU period, it was said that the African nationalists were not if ZAPU had been was banned, they would not form another party. ZAPU was the last party that the Africans were no other party. In other words, the impression given to us or our understanding from that statement was that we will not accept for ZAPU to be banned. Because that's our party and it should not be banned. That was the party that was meant to take us into independence. So even when the white man says it's banned, well, for us it's not banned.
It can't be banned.
No. We continue as ZAPU. Right. But something happened, and I don't know the details of that, but I know that there were disagreements when they went to Dar es Salaam. After ZAPU was banned, all the leaders were called to go to Zambia, to Tanzania. And there they developed their differences. The leadership developed some differences, and they came disjointedly. Actually, they came back, but disjointedly because Nkomo came first and left everybody behind. And he went out to address meetings. Denouncing those guys. They
remained behind.
He called them the Gang of Five? Gang of Seven. These guys had sold to the Americans. I think that's what he said. These guys had sold to the Americans. But for us, the youth in Highfield, at least in Highfield, we knew better. We knew that it's not possible that the Ndavaningi Stories, the Mugabes, the Maliangas, and so on, and Nkalas, it sold out. No, we didn't believe that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we didn't believe that. But that line was sold to ZAPU supporters, and they believed that.
Okay.
Yeah. So when ZANU was formed,
Yes.
the ZAPU people looked at ZANU as an enemy.
Okay.
As far as they're concerned, we were causing a delay in the achievement of our independence.
Okay.
Okay, they preferred that we didn't break away from ZAPU.
Okay.
We remained as one organization, so on. But we were saying, remaining for all these years, we've been one. We didn't achieve anything.
Okay.
And now is the time for us to do something effective. And the effective thing is we had people in this group who spoke the language that we understood and we wanted.
Okay.
We are our own liberators.
Okay.
Yeah. What does that mean?
You
We
have
have
to
to fight.
things on your own.
We have to
Yes.
fight these guys.
Yes.
Yeah, and you are not fighting the British. You are fighting the Rhodesians who are here.
Who are here?
Yeah.
Okay. So these clashes, how bad were they?
They were serious. They're really bad.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, they make raids. They know Huni's address is number 7, this street. They'll raid your house.
So, Chizengeni, tell us, how bad were these clashes in Highfields there?
They're very, very serious clashes. They ZAPU people.
Yeah.
And at that time, we were saying ZAPU had been banned, right? But they formed an organization which they called PCC. Which we understood and knew that it was ZAPU because they wanted to retain their ZAPU, but they formed this PCC thing against ZANU.
Oh, okay.
Right? So they would organize people to go and raid houses of supporters of ZANU. The Huni is
stay in
that place. They'll raid the place and stone it or burn it down.
Okay.
And if you in the morning you're going to work, you go to the bus station, you get into the bus. Once you get into the bus, they want you out of that bus.
It was that bad?
It was extremely bad. It was extremely bad. And people suffered a lot.
Did some people die?
Oh, yeah. No, they died. People, remember my houses are kind of petrol bomb.
Oh, yes, it was. Yeah.
Zimbabwe and even kids, I think, died in one.
And now this is happening. What are the leaders saying? Is this getting out of hand like that?
Remember, we were confined to the locations. It has nothing to do with whites.
Okay.
So this was raids among Africans, among themselves.
Clash between Africans on their
white
own.
men would have only been happy
to see you killing each other.
Yeah, this is the point.
Okay.
Yes.
But I'm talking of now the nationalists, your Joshua Nkomos, your Robert Mugabes and so on. What are they saying as the youth are clashing and killing each other like that? What are they saying? What is the message?
Well, I don't know what you would expect them to say. Their own supporters are being beaten up. The houses are being shattered. They're being bent. Yeah. What do you expect the leaders to say?
Well, please don't do this. It's not necessary. We are fighting for the one thing. Our ideology is the same.
It wasn't like that.
We had to we were done banned. There was a state of emergency in Highfields.
Okay.
And we were all sent to Wawa.
Okay.
That's why Wawa lasted for 9 months.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Both ZAPU and ZAPU and
ZANU.
And ZANU were banned.
Okay.
From there, we started throwing rocks to each other. We were then separated with 2 plot camps. I was the last person out of Wawa going to the prison.
Come on, are you telling me that even at Wawa, you were also
Yes.
clashing there.
Yes, we did.
Who are some of these people in ZAPU you are clashing with
in
now?
the end, the ZANU people were then sent to Skombela,
Okay.
a different
prison. Yeah.
Those who were in ZAPU were now sent to Marorindera.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who are some of these people from ZAPU you are now clashing with in prison now? Who were some that you remember, if you still remember any? No, if you
I can't.
you can remember.
But
Even in jail it was that bad. Yes.
Mark Ramasanga was one. He was a very good trade unionist,
Okay.
working together with me.
Yes.
But he belongs now to ZAPU.
And you were now fighting them.
Yes. Then we had to have separate camps.
Separate camps.
Yeah.
And later, the ZANU one was taken to Skombela.
Yes.
And,
One, I was the last person out of Wawa going to be prison now,
okay.
where a scholarship was now organized for me to go to Britain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand here the leadership of the party. You know, the statement that has been made by Nkomo seemed to have ignited you to be doing all these things. Did the leadership try to meet? There was nothing like that
among themselves.
Yes.
No. Just to go back to your earlier question to him.
Yes.
Those conflicts and fights they were not restricted to Zimbabwe or Bulawayo and Solvere alone.
Yes.
They extended beyond the borders.
Okay.
Among Zimbabweans in Zambia, you had those fights. Among Zimbabweans in anywhere in Africa, you had those fights. I happened down the road. I happened to go to Zambia and I encountered those fights.
Okay.
I went to Dar es Salaam, Malawi. I encountered those fights. I went to Dar es Salaam. Those fights were there. As far as Cairo,
okay,
those fights were there.
Now, these fights are happening in ZAPU, ZANU, and so on. Has there been a clear distinction now here that ZAPU is Shona or ZANU? ZAPU is Ndebele, ZANU is Shona, or it's still not like that, it's just fighting. Is there that? Because later in life, there's a distinction where you say, I think ZAPU is for Mandebele, ZANU is for Mashona. Is there fighting during this time? Is that distinction already there or is not?
No, it's not there.
It's just supporters fighting.
That distinction is not there. For ZAPU people, they were told that ZANU was a sellout party.
Okay.
Yeah?
Bought by the Americans.
Yes, we sold to the Americans and the Israelis. And so you really didn't need to say this shape is Ndebele or this one is Shona or this is what. No, if you are ZANU, you sold out.
Okay.
So you're a bad person.
Okay.
You should be eliminated.
Eliminated.
Yeah.
You should not get into this bus.
Yes. Now, there was a difficulty in trying to eliminate me. I couldn't be eliminated.
Why? How? Why?
Because I fight back very hard too.
You fought back?
Oh yeah.
How did you do that? Like
Zibakera,
no.
Matombo, Mabanga,
Whatever.
anything that was nearby.
It got into a level where you actually had to use anything.
All those things, even footy. This is way before people were trained, but we had guns.
Okay.
Not lots of them, but
A few people
had guns.
Okay.
Yeah. So ndinendiri mambo kana ndine futi yacho ka.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And tangiki.
Utangike zvoka.
Yeah. Ndoiridza. Ukatofa.
Aiwa autaurire munhu izvozvo. Ikangorira chete anoziva kuti akuda kufa. They run.
And as you are doing this, what are your parents saying?
Problems, my dear man.
Yes.
Okay, remind me, I must tell you something about my employment as well during this period.
Yes.
while I'm doing all these things, activities, kumusha, we were expected to go back home kunona my parents once in a while.
Yeah.
But before you got home, word would have reached them already.
Yes.
Especially from ZAPU people.
Okay.
ZAPU people will have an opportunity to go to my parents and tell them, this is what he's doing in Harare. So my mother,
yeah.
my mother sent word. Right. Nkomo iwe nkomo murume mukuru akatopfurira even baba wako. Uda kumurwisa une chija unomurwisa nachi.
Wapindwa nei mwana?
So I tried to explain myself as best as I could. Can I even kungo deny all that? Don't do things like that.
Okay.
And it is, but the solution kwandiri ndakazita arrive at the solution the best thing is to avoid it. Don't go kumshawasha. And then I left the country for 17 years.
Comrade, are you choosing politics than my map?
Because Abandruguti, it looks like my mother has to honor the bigger picture.
Oh, okay.
So one man, one vote is in fact, I should have mentioned to you, or I should mention to
you. Yeah.
Kuti, like any parent or all parents, they expect you to Manavo is going to get a job and also a supporter. Now here I am. Politics.
Yeah.
That got me and the other guys into trouble with the system here.
Yeah.
Zoguti, we got to a stage where if jobs were not a problem,
okay,
I could get a job anytime. But to retain that job was something else because the CIDs will follow.
Oh, okay.
The employer and tell them, why employer? I take come and never know this one.
All right.
That is my petrol bomb. So
don't employ them.
Don't employ them. So I'll get a job today. After tomorrow, the employer will call me in and say, look, no, sorry. No. We decided we don't need that anymore.